What's going on YouTube, man? Welcome back to another video. Now before we jump into today's video, man, you should have know what you should have been did. Like, comment, and subscribe. We trying to save the world. We trying to save as many people as we can. So make sure you hit that post notification bell so you don't get that post nut clarity, my guys. Now look, today we got another Truth Is video. Shout out to everybody that been rocking with the Truth Is. Shout out to the Truth Is, because he's the only one that I feel like he's very consistent with his videos, and he's just dropping like back to back bangers. Like I feel like he's the only one like really consistently bringing us the truth. So shout out to him, man. I hope he comes across my channel one day. But today's video is the sinister truth behind Nickelodeon. So this video, I was actually sitting on this video for a while. Shout out to Theo again for sending me this video. You know, if y'all got anything y'all want me to react to, make sure to drop it in the Discord. And if you're not already in the Discord, make sure you're joining up the Discord, man, so you could conversate and uplift with like-minded brother on a consistent daily basis. But without further ado, man, let's just jump right into the video.
Hey guys, I hope all is well. Thank you for joining me for this Truth Talk episode. In today's episode, we'll be talking about how Nickelodeon pushes the agenda. Let's get right into it. Nickelodeon is one of the more popular TV networks that is dedicated to creating child-friendly content. Nick launched this channel on April 1st, 1979, and ever since, it has been a huge success with kids. Nickelodeon has released tons of hit animated shows and live-action shows over the years, like Spongebob Squarepants, Fairly Odd Parents, Hey Arnold, Drake and Josh, iCarly, Victorious, and many more. Nick, like Disney and Cartoon Network, has earned a reputation of providing safe content for all kids. This made parents around the world feel safe, allowing their children to watch Nick's broadcasting without their supervision. And why wouldn't they? All Nick shows are made strictly
what were they doing?
and without their
What is the heck?
supervision. And why wouldn't they? All Nick shows are made strictly and solely for kids. The thing is, as you will soon learn in this episode, most of Nick's biggest shows are made for much more sinister reasons than just the entertainment of kids. Nick's shows are made for much.
This was the Chum Bucket? Bro, why haven't I ever peeped this? Wait, is this the Chum Bucket?
More sinister reasons than just the entertainment of kids. Nick's shows are loaded with free.
Nah, that couldn't be the Chum Bucket. But Plankton was on the pyramid. That's weird.
Masonic imagery, and in my opinion, are made to expose our children to Masonic ideologies. As we have come to learn on this channel, the Freemasons have their hands in just about everything that reaches the masses. Hollywood has been pumping out Masonic programming for the masses since its inception, and this is the same thing we have seen with Nickelodeon. Many of Nickelodeon's biggest shows are designed to push an agenda. While parents freely let their children watch Nick, their children are being exposed to content that is programming their brains into accepting Masonic morals. We live in a world where many kids are raised by their TVs or their tablets, and I myself was allowed to watch Disney and Nickelodeon all day without any limitations as a child. I'm
not gonna lie, I feel like all of us were exposed to watching Nickelodeon all day. Especially if you didn't grow up in like a two-parent household, you was definitely, even the people who did grow up in two-parent households were still exposed to Nickelodeon.
In many ways, as a child of the 90s, was manipulated by what I saw on networks like Disney and Nickelodeon. In my opinion, Nickelodeon, just like Disney and Cartoon Network, were all made by the Masons with the same exact goal. The best way to indoctrinate the masses is by starting as soon as possible, and exposing the youth to Masonic programming is the best way. In this episode, we'll be taking a look at some of Nickelodeon's biggest hit shows and showing just how much Masonic imagery we see. We will also be talking about some of the questionable employees Nick has had over the years, and how to me it proves that Nick isn't so safe for kids. If you guys would like me to cover Cartoon Network next, let me know in the comments. The first show we need to talk about is Spongebob Squarepants. Spongebob Squarepants is one of Nickelodeon's most successful kid shows they ever created. According to Nick, the show has been the #1 animated kids show for the last 17 years. As of May of 2022, Nick has released 276 episodes of SpongeBob and a total of 13 seasons, grossing the network a whopping $13 billion in merchandising alone. And those numbers are only for 2019. SpongeBob premiered July 17, 1999, and it starred a goofy yellow sea sponge named Spongebob Squarepants. Kids indeed loved the show, and I myself was a young kid who used to watch the show all the time.
Y'all ever look at these like little acts right here? Like you be like, this family is not even like a real family. Like they know they not married. Like this is like you are not the father. Like this does not look like them. I mean, I guess so. I guess he kind of looks like him, but I just wanted to point that out.
On the surface, the show appears harmless and just a kid who used to watch the show all the time. On the surface, the show appears harmless and just another colorful animated show, but we can easily see tons of one-eye symbolism and other Masonic symbols within the show. We have seen a lot of Masonic imagery in kids shows in the past, but none of it compares to the SpongeBob episode called Cephalopod Lodge, coincidentally from SpongeBob's 6th season being the 13th episode. The entire episode was literally about Squidward being a Freemason. The episode shows Squidward leaving in the middle of the night to attend a Masonic lodge. SpongeBob and Patrick secretly follow Squidward to the lodge and catches the lodge members performing a Masonic initiation ritual. SpongeBob then gets discovered and the lodge members kick all 3 of them out. Literally, the entire episode was just Masonic propaganda created with the sole intention of introducing young children to Masonic ideologies.
Wow. It's funny because I think I've seen this episode before. That's crazy.
Episode that was created for kids aged 6 to 11 showed Masonic temples, all-seeing eyes, and even a Masonic initiation ritual. I saw this episode as a child when it aired, and to me it was just another SpongeBob episode. Now as an adult, we can see this should not have been shown to children. We must remember that they call TV shows TV programming for a reason. It's created to program those who watch it. We see more Masonic imagery in the Spongebob Squarepants movie that was released in 2015. The villain character was a dolphin named Bubbles, which for obvious reason wore an Illuminati pendant and a robe, once again directly pointing to the Masonic order. Wow. There's another SpongeBob episode from the 4th season called Good Neighbors, and it again seemed to show SpongeBob again dressed in Masonic.
It's just so crazy. Hold on, let me let this app play.
Welcome to the Wild Wild West. Come on.
Attire.
It's just so crazy how this was right in front of our faces, but in the grace of God, it took us. At least now we're aware of these things. At least now we have more wisdom to be able to pick up on these things, because they were always there. Some of us were very young when these episodes were released, and our young impressionable minds didn't know any better. So it's just crazy looking back and just seeing all of this now, seeing all the imagery that was placed right in front of our faces, man.
In front of an all-seeing eye. There's even a moment in the episode where Patrick and SpongeBob openly talk about doing rituals.
What? Bro. Ain't no way.
Secret ritual
To inaugurate you as president.
As you heard for yourself, once again, Nickelodeon wanted the world to know that they were ran by the Masonic order. In my opinion, the show has many questionable moments and is clearly created to push a Masonic agenda. The next show we're going to be taking a look at is The Fairly Odd Parents, another hit animated show for Nickelodeon which premiered on March 30th, 2001, releasing 172 episodes with a total of 10 seasons. Just like SpongeBob, The Fairly Odd Parents was an animated kids show that was very popular throughout the 2000s. And just like SpongeBob, The Fairly Odd Parents is once again loaded with Masonic imagery and moments that leave you with tons of questions. The Fairly Odd Parents was about a young boy named Timmy who was miserable because his parents often ignored him and left him with a mean babysitter named Vicky. Because he was so miserable, the fairies granted Timmy 2 fairy godparents to grant him every wish. Just like we saw with SpongeBob, the Fairly Odd Parents appeared innocent and just
which is witchcraft. Everything that the Bible tells us not to associate with. Like, man, it's all making sense now. Like, I hope y'all picking up on all of this and how it's correlating.
like any other animated kids show, but in reality, it secretly once again had Masonic programming for kids. In the very first season, in the second episode named Transparent, we quickly see what's the purpose of this show. In the episode, Mr. Crocker, who is Timmy's school teacher, is trying to capture Timmy's fairy godparents. Each time he gets close to capturing the fairy godparents, he has very strange outbursts.
New World Order! New World Order! Position of power, a seat on the throne, New World Order!
As you heard for yourself, Mr. Crocker yells New World Order on one of the scenes, and then in another one, he yells position of power, seat on the throne, New World Order. Clear as day, Nickelodeon is letting us know that they're a
That's
part of
crazy.
the plans to bring in the New World Order. They're openly admitting that they want a position of power in the new Masonic world. Throughout the show, Mr. Crocker continues to make these strange outbursts. I don't see how they would need to make these jokes referring to the New World Order to, again, 6 to 11-year-old children. We can find tons of other open Masonic imagery throughout many of Nickelodeon TV shows. In Hey Arnold, they again show the all-seeing eye in at least one of the episodes. And in the Hey Arnold movie released in 2002, we can even again hear references to the New World Order. They even have instances where they display the number 666 and
Wow.
13. Once again, open Masonic imagery. The next Nickelodeon show we need to talk about is The House of Anubis, which again is full
Oh
of
yeah,
Masonic.
this show right here is definitely a lot of imagery. As you can see, this right here is screaming out Satanism. Like,
Imagery. The House of Anubis was released on January 1st, 2011, and once again we saw the show full of Masonic imagery. We can clearly see the all-seeing eye throughout the show. The show even features a secret society that performs ritual magic, once again exposing its young viewers to occultic imagery. Another show that once again was pushing this occultic imagery, made by Nickelodeon, is their show Every Which Way, which is about a teen witch attending high school, who we can see performing spells and rituals, painting witchcraft in a good light, just like we saw Disney, how they normalized the occult with their content. Now we need to talk about the other side of Nick, which is Teen Nick. Many of you should remember me talking about the TV producer Dan Schneider, who is responsible for making many of Nickelodeon's most successful live-action shows. Shows such as Drake and Josh, iCarly, All That, Victorious, Zoe
yo,
101.
they got some hits, man. I remember watching this show like when I was probably like 10. What I Like About You, this show was on Teen Nick for real. Yo, that just brought me back down to memory lane, bro. I remember watching that like all the time just for
Sam
fun.
and Cat, and The Amanda Show, with almost all these shows being a hit for the network. Growing up, I watched a lot of these shows created by Mr. Schneider, and I never really realized anything off about them. In many of Mr. Schneider's shows, it appeared that he would create moments in the episodes where it consisted of the young actors showing off their feet. Many people over the years have come out accusing Mr. Schneider of being into feet and using this TV show to get his fix. In 2018, Dan was let
That's
go from
weird.
Nickelodeon, but the split seemed to be in good terms, as Dan was paid a whopping $7 million for his inconvenience. There's many different articles online that make claims that Mr. Schneider, along with his good friend Brian Peck, would invite young actors unsupervised to his home, where he would host pool parties. Dan Schneider would tell these young actors' parents that these young actors needed to come alone, and that it would be a good opportunity for them as other big show producers were present. I have spoken about
Now, what right-minded parent would even listen to something like that? Oh, bring your kids alone. They're going to be coming across big-time actors, so there's no need to bring them along. Imagine this big old guy, right? This big old creepy-looking guy telling you to bring your kids. Just leave them alone. Just drop them off. You don't have to greet us. Just go. That is screaming red flags, man. Like, who are these parents? Who are these parents? Like, Hollywood is weird, man. That's why they call it
Brian
Hollywood.
Peck in the past. He used to work with Dan on All That, and he was also let go from Nickelodeon after he was arrested and convicted of doing something he's not supposed to be doing with one of those Nickelodeon actors.
That's
I cannot
crazy.
go into detail about what he did, but you can easily find it by just simply Googling Brian Peck charges. Brian Peck served 16 months in prison and was then released and managed to get a job at Disney, working on a few episodes of
This is Blankos, the free-to-play multiplayer game where you can unlock, earn, and
Zack and Cody. Even after his conviction, he was
All right,
able
look at that. This man just threw up.
at Disney, working on a few episodes of Zack and Cody. Even
Like, this man just threw up the devil horns while he's dressed as a little girl. That's crazy.
after his conviction, he was able to get hired again, working with young actors. Another man we need to talk about is John Crick Falassi, who was yet another Nickelodeon producer who produced the show Ren and Stimpy. I'm sure many of you have seen Ren and Stimpy and could agree that this show should have never been created for kids, as it was very disturbing. And could agree that this show should have never been
Yo. I wish my hotkeys were working right now. Hotkeys are under construction right now. I don't know what's going on, but them hotkeys would come in so clutch right now. Cause what is this? What is this? Bro.
created for kids, as it was very disturbing. John, just like
Nah, this is not even funny, but yo.
Dan and Brian, had a problem when it came to girls who weren't old enough. One of those girls that John should have not been talking to was a fan who sent him a fan letter in hopes of working for him one day. John took advantage and invited her to intern at the network, and you can imagine what happened next. Again, I cannot go into details about what John was accused of, but simply just Google searching John Crick Falassi, you can find out exactly what he did. Apparently, many people at the network were well aware of John's new girlfriend and had no issues with it. Nobody that worked with John ever came out and spoke about what he was doing. Many even said that John was protected at the network. In my opinion, this seems to be the case, as it makes you wonder just how many people are like Dan, John, and Brian working at Nickelodeon, but just haven't been outed yet. As we saw in this episode, we shouldn't blindly trust any TV network, especially not Nickelodeon. They have managed to earn the trust of parents, and in my opinion, are taking advantage of that very trust, programming these kids with Masonic ideologies. When I was a kid, many of these shows I spoke about today, I used to watch. Never as a child did I ever realize what I was consuming. It's clear that Nickelodeon, just like Disney, is pushing a Masonic agenda,
Nah, this is crazy right here. This SpongeBob episode is crazy.
preparing the masses for the new Masonic world. We must not let these networks like Nickelodeon manipulate the minds of our children.
So that was the end of this video, man. This video was a this video was a roller coaster ride. Like, yo, like the amount of imagery I seen in just this one video kind of blew my mind. Like, and I want to go back, like this show right here, it really brought me back to memory lane, what I like about you. But the amount of imagery, like, look at this. This is like the movie Eyes Wide Shut, when they was all, you know, doing a ritual. Man, this is deep. I'm trying to tell y'all, if y'all plan on having kids in the future, keep them off the tablets, keep them off the television, keep them off of social media, keep them away from all this corruption, because they even have it in the TV shows. Even the little kid shows are not safe. I'm trying to tell y'all, man. So let me know what y'all think down below. Like, comment, and subscribe. Share this video with a friend because they will need this information. Look, I'll catch you in the next one, and I'm out.